Now we're treading into dark comedy territory, and what better Christmas special to highlight the overall surreal nature and also the absolutely insane world some of these characters get themselves into than with the most horrible Xmas ever from Invader Zim, which premiered on Nickelodeon on December 10, 2002. Now, if there's one thing I have to admit about Invader Zim is that I wasn't an instant fan of the show. In fact, it took a lot of time for me to really appreciate the overall dark humor this show had to offer. My thoughts on Invader Zim when I was a kid is that it seemed rather fascinating and it was quite enjoyable on small doses. But as I grew from teenhood to adulthood, I actually started to respect the show a lot more and even called myself a really big fan of Invader Zim. The overall cynical and absolutely insane atmosphere that Invader Zim had to offer put me on the edge of my seat even to this very day. And it also helped that we had such amazing voice actors, from Richard Horowitz, who provided the voice of Zim, and even Melissa Fahn as Gaz managed to make this show stand out in its own special way. On top of that, you really have to leave it up to Jhonen Vasquez for making this insane yet oddly fascinating show, considering the fact that he also started out in a lot of really surreal, really insane pieces of work, and that's basically the style he's been very well known for, and it managed to carry through in this underrated Nicktoon masterpiece. I have been wanting to talk about Invader Zim for quite some time, and there has been no better season than to talk about its Christmas special than right now. Now, this particular Christmas special is not like any other I've ever seen, especially when it's based on the title, The Most Horrible Xmas Ever. You definitely know that you're going to get yourself into something cynical and absolutely insane, not just from the title alone, but from the overall atmosphere, the angular animation, and of course, that really biting tone this show has been very well known for. There is no cream and no sugar in Invader Zim's humor. It is dark. It is absolutely on the insane side, and at times it can be freaking creepy. In fact, there are some episodes which will leave one's hair standing on end. And this was a holiday special which did just that. The special started off with a mechanical snowman about to tell the tale of the worst Christmas ever after a young girl inquired about it. Cut to the story proper, where we see Zim trying to disguise himself as a mascot, begging for money, until he sees some people in Santa outfits. Does he start to get really curious about who this Santa Claus person really is. He then gets some information of Santa's nuances, his overall jolliness, and everything that defines Santa Claus. He then gets himself into a very special suit and disguises himself as Santa, hoping that he will transport the people of Earth to his home planet. But little does he know, the suit takes a life of its own and tries to devour Zim's very being every time he gets exposed to someone singing Christmas carols. The suit then starts to act up and almost devours Zim. Now that is a pretty messed up concept right there, yet I love it to bits. This is definitely a Christmas special which is not afraid to be as cynical and kind of mean-spirited in the most positive way possible. It managed to revel in its cynicism, which is why a lot of people love Invader Zim so much. And it also helps that the dark humor makes it stand out superbly. And it's also fun in its own special way, especially when you get that earworm of a chorus number, which is, I think, in my opinion, based off of Look Down from Les Miserables. And the way I see it, it was sort of an homage to that particular chorus number. What, with that mighty chorus, that feeling of being oppressed, and at the same time, you get to know that Santa, who is actually Zim in disguise, is the boss. And let me just tell you that the climax in which Santa has become this really huge and evil looking entity is just so thrilling. It makes me feel like this particular segment is kind of based off of Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira. What with that huge and absolutely scary looking deformed creature of Santa. And of course, that epic battle which ensues, I thought it was just an exciting package from beginning to end. The mechanical snowman also contributed so handsomely to the story, what with his really enigmatic and creepy tone, yet at the same time bearing that gentleman next door type of persona, where he seems to be unsuspectingly kind, but at the same time there is something that is rather scary about him. So I have to say that this was definitely a major ride from beginning to end, with a lot of wonderful dark humor, complete with cynicism and an overall creepy charm which made this particular Christmas special stand out so superbly. I have to say that it was a trip I will never forget. And I'm sure that those of you who are major fans of Invader Zim would have also seen this particular Christmas special. So please, let me know in the comments below what were your most favorite moments in the most horrible Xmas ever. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in much later for my tribute to the Nutcracker from Courage the Cowardly Dog. So until then, happy holidays, everybody.